when my daughter, Francelle, we call her Frankie, when she turned 18 months and we were playing outside on our front porch. That's a picture of Frankie. And I couldn't believe that I captured this actual experience, but here's what happened. We were outside on our porch playing with sidewalk chalk. Kids love sidewalk chalk. And she's drawing and she's having a blast, and she drops a piece of chalk on the floor. And Kim, my wife, picks it up and puts it on a table that we have on our porch. Now the table's a bit rickety. And so when Frankie went over with her little clumsy 18-month-old hands to try and pick the chalk up, instead of picking it up, she knocked it and it rolled and it fell off the table. So I pick it up and I put it back on the table, and Frankie goes to reach for it again and knocks it and it rolls and it falls off the table. But I notice that she's not looking at the chalk, she's looking at me. And I go, I wonder if this, what I think is happening here. So I pick up the chalk and I put it on the table again, and sure enough, she doesn't stop looking at me. She goes to the chalk and just pushes it. And it rolls, and she's watching me, and she has discovered what we learn at 18 months old. It's what Austrian psychologist Carl Gruss called the joy at being the cause. When we learn that our actions, our words, can cause change to take place in the world, it creates joy within us. And I realized that despite my music career immediately ending once that vocal injury happened, and my consulting career slowly fading away thereafter, because speaking is an integral part of communication and consulting, although I lost both jobs, there was only one that I was really disappointed to lose. See, I realized that what I loved most about the piano bar was how I could bring a group of complete strangers together, to turn them for the night into my unpaid choir. I know what you're thinking, and yes, alcohol helps. It does, a little. But these principles that we employ at the piano bar, these 3 principles that I call the tip jar culture, they're what enable us to create that magic. And I began to wonder, could we bring those principles into other domains, like the world of education? And so what I'm going to share with you today, I hope you will take back to your boards, to your districts, and start to ideate ways that you can implement these 3 principles to create more engagement, to battle the burnout that educators are facing, and to retain the best talent that are out there inspiring our children and helping them be the joy in the cause. Before I go on, sort of shameless little plug here. Is anybody here from North Penn School District? I know a lot of people decided to head home and beat the Phillies traffic. Well, I am a proud graduate of the North Penn School District Music Program, and so if they were here, I would say thank you for the teachers that they enabled to give me the skills to perform and do this today. So let me go back to what we were talking about with that initial song. I told you that the first song we played is a comfort song. Now, the reason it's called a comfort song is so that I can understand who's out there in my audience. This is the critical key to creating an experience worth engaging with, is understanding who's in our audience. And so I would always play this song, you know, right? Sitting in the morning sun. You're not clapping. All right, I see what I did here. So you're not clapping because I never told you, even though I showed you a video, I never told you that at the piano bar, when somebody plays a song, especially an amazing song like that Otis Redding hit, we clap along. On the beat. On the beat. On the beat. But you don't know that because I didn't share that with you. And I'm curious, for those of you who filled out a request slip today, did any of you request a song you have never heard before? Anyone? Raise your hand. I'd love to meet you after. I have some questions. No, see, we can't request a song that we don't know exists, and I can't expect a behavior that I haven't modeled or explained for you. That is an integral part of why the piano bar is so successful, because we model and explain every behavior we expect our audience to show. Now, we have to do that very simply and effectively because, say it with me, alcohol. Yes, exactly. So here's what we would do at the piano bar. We would have a spiel that we delivered. That night I told you the story about Brian delivered the spiel. It goes something like this. Hey, welcome into the Piano Bar. If it's your first time or your first time in a long time, we are super excited you decided to join us for the evening. Couple of ground rules so that you can fully enjoy the experience and have the best time possible. First and foremost, we need you to sing along. And we want you to practice safe singing. So there's a bar over there with lots of stuff to lubricate your vocal cords. Go ahead and grab you something to take a sip. That's the first part of our spiel. That's the martini glass. Take a sip. Second part went something like this. Now, this is also an all-request audience participation experience, and we are musicians, not mind readers. So that we can understand what your request is, there are request slips out there on the bar with pens and paper. Fill them out, bring it on up to the piano. If we know it, we'll play it gladly, and if we don't, we'll play it badly. That's that slip right in the middle, the request slip. Third part of the spiel, arguably my favorite, went like this. If you bring that request slip up without something green and presidential, it is simply a suggestion. And if you don't want to tip us, please tip your bartenders and waitstaff because they're working hard to keep you drinking. And remember, the more you drink, the better we sound. Leave a tip. The three principles, the three behaviors we need for a night to go well at the piano bar, very simply and comically delivered for our audience regularly throughout the evening. But it's not just that we said it, we then modeled it. Take a sip, fill out a slip, leave a tip. What those really are our values.